Hey Diffusion Talk, I am coming to you sans makeup because I'm going to do a video of putting on my Savvy makeup. So I'm going to be honest, I am a pretty minimal makeup person. I like my routine to take me 10 minutes or less. If I'm going out or something, I might take a little bit more time. But as a general rule, I like to put on a quick face. So this is how I apply my Savvy. So first things first, after my shower or I wash my face, I use the Wolfberry eye cream under my eyes. And I just take a tiny amount on my ring finger and I apply that under my eyes. I will sometimes do the tops, but just around my eyes and underneath. So that is the first step. Second is I use the Art Light Moisturizer. And I actually just ordered the Renewal Serum, and I'm excited to combine the two together for more of a primer. But I just apply, and I actually already put it on, but I just put a couple pumps in my hands and rub that all over my face and my neck. And then I was a tinted moisturizer girl before Savvy came out. I had used mineral makeup in the past, but I always kind of went back to my tinted moisturizer. So if you are like that, you can actually make your own tinted moisturizer by putting some of the foundation into your hand and a squirt or two of that light moisturizer and then applying it to your face. And I think it's easiest if you do that with a foundation brush if you want to do a tinted moisturizer. But I'm going to show you applying the powder foundation. And the Savvy brushes, this is the brush set. And in this brush set, you get, I believe you get a foundation brush, the veil brush, a blush brush, and an eyeshadow brush, maybe two eyeshadow brushes. So this brush set is amazing. I love the brushes. You do not end up with any bristles on your face. I think you've heard many of us talk about them before. So what I did is I'm between a warm 2 and a warm 3. So sometimes I combine them. Or say in the summer I'm a warm 3 and in the winter I'm a warm 2. So I just have taken my foundation and I just tap it into the lid. So I've got a decent amount here in my lid. And then I tap the brush in the lid. And then you're going to want to tap your brush to get the excess off of it. And then and I'm going to look, I have a lighted mirror over here. And then I'm just brushing this on. So you can put it on as, I would say, as lightly or as covering as you desire. And maybe that depends on the day. Maybe it depends on where you're going. But you just apply it with the brush. And like I said, I am no makeup expert. So I'm doing this video so that I can show you guys that if I can do it, anybody can do it. So I do my foundation. And then I do my eyeshadow. And this is kind of new for me. I don't put my concealer on until last in case I get eye fallout or, something that I'm not having to wipe that all off and start over. So I do my eyeshadow, actually my eyebrows, and then my eyeshadow. So I feel like my eyebrows are too thin and need a little bit more pizzazz. So the multitasker is way too dark for me to use. I have relatively light eyebrows. So what I use is a bronzer. So I just use the Summer Loved bronzer. I take this brush, this angled eyeliner brush. It's got 2 different sides. I couldn't put my makeup on without this. I love this brush. So I spray it with some misting spray. And then I just am getting a little bit of that foundation on it. And then I am filling in my eyebrows. So that's it. I just feel like they need a little bit more definition and a little bit more color, and you could kind of go as crazy as you want. And like I said, the multitasker is kind of designed for this, but if you are a light-haired person like me, that's not going to work for you. You're going to want to pick a bronzer or even a dark foundation. Any of those will work. And if you are someone who likes a brown eyeliner, you could use the multitasker for your eyeliner. So just a couple of tips. So now that I've got that, now I'm going to put my eyeshadow on. And I do that the same way I did the foundation. So I've tapped some of the eyeshadow, and this is Best Kept Secret. It is a matte eyeshadow. I would say it has coverage. It doesn't have a lot of color, and that's what I like it for. So I am now I actually use the blending brush to apply this kind of all over eyeshadow color. And again, tap, tap. I usually tap like into my sink. So now I am going to put this, I actually will put this on my entire eye from my lashes up to my brow. And I just feel like it gives it kind of an all over, smoothed out appearance. It doesn't have a lot of color. So I'll put that on both eyes. And again, with the mineral makeup, you can kind of build and go as deep or dark as you want with coverage, or as light and subtle. That is up to you. Okay, so I did that, and then I am going to use, I think this is Unscripted, which is one of my favorites. It is like a purpley color. So again, I just put some in the lid, and now I am using the actual eyeshadow brush. And again, tap. And then this is what I'm going to do in my crease area, on my lower lid. And I just want to put the disclaimer out there again that if you want a good makeup wizard, you've got to talk to Josie Palazzolo or Julie Mistretta or Jessica Police in this group. And I'm sure there's many other of you that are much more savvy when it comes to makeup than me. But this is designed for all of us girls that, are kind of not a lot of fuss, not a lot of muss for makeup, but still want to look good. I just want to show you that you can do that with Savvy. So just apply that. And again, you can get as dark as you want or as light as you want. Now, there is something called foiling with eyeshadow, and that is basically like getting your brush wet and applying the eyeshadow, and that's going to give it a darker color and a much more dramatic effect. So in that sense, you could just spray your brush, get it a little bit wet, get a little bit of the eyeshadow on it, and just say, I want to darken up, my corners. Now I can apply the eyeshadow foiled or wet, and hopefully you can see that I can get a much more dramatic, darker color by doing that. Now, you want to be careful. Don't get it too wet and don't go crazy, because it can get pretty dark pretty fast. But it does make a big difference, and it's easy to do. So, that is foiling. All right, now I am going to do my eyeliner. So very similar to how I did my brows, I have the Jet Setter eyeliner here. I put it in the lid, and normally I will kind of clean this. I will get it wet again with misting spray. And I love a powder eyeliner. I used one even before Young Living, so I feel like you have more control. So I get it on the brush, and then sometimes I'll even use a tissue or the back of my hand to just kind of make sure there's no clumps. And then I'm going to, you can draw a line, you can kind of subtly tap it, and you can make it as thin or as thick as you'd like. I typically use this angled side of the brush. I think we decided if you are someone who likes kind of a cat eye or a little bit more of a swoop, perhaps this side would be better. But I typically just use the angled side and can use it both on top and on my lower lid. So we'll get that on. And I apologize, I think my children are fighting with each other upstairs, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. So you've got the eyeliner then, And then here is where I will go back to using that blending brush one more time and just kind of make sure that my eyeshadow or my eyeliner is dry and it's not gonna get wet and show in the creases. So that is that, and now you would apply your concealer. As you know, Young Living doesn't have a concealer. You can make your own, again, with a foundation that I think is like a shade lighter than the foundation that you're using, and the Art Moisturizer, and use a concealer brush to apply that. I am going to be honest, I'm using a Tarte Shape Tape concealer. So I'm going to put that on at this point. And then after I rub this in, I will do my bronzer. And so that's the other thing. I'm kind of a bronzer girl, and I'll just do all around bronzer, where I was excited the one time I had someone put my Savvy makeup on. She showed me how to apply bronzer and blush. So I thought that was an interesting little tutorial. And I'll show you how I put the bronzer on. So I'm using Summer Loved, which if you look at that on the website, you think, oh my gosh, that's so dark, that'll never work for me. But I'm using it, and I feel like I'm relatively fair. So same idea. Put it in there, tap, tap, tap. And then what she told me is with, you're using a bronzer more to contour. So under the cheekbones, you can swoop it around your face, and this is kind of what I've always done. I'll use it to make sure I'm, blended down here and I don't have any lines. I feel like that is another nice part of mineral makeup. You can always be blending with your foundation, with your bronzer, and you don't have to worry so much about getting that makeup line on the bottom of your face. And then with a blush, which I'm not going to do right now because, like I said, I'm being simple, you would apply a blush, more to the tops of your cheekbones and that circle area. So I just kind of blend my face with my bronzer. That's that. And then the last thing I do is mascara. As you know, Young Living doesn't have a mascara right now, or we're waiting for the Savvy mascara to come back, which I'm very excited for that to come back. I use a Tarte mascara, but I'm really pumped for the Savvy to come back. And then if you want, you can use the veil. I don't have the veil. It is a very shimmery, it comes in a container just like the foundation. It's pretty shimmery, and you can use that all over to give yourself a little bit of sparkle. And then, whatever you're going to do with your lips. And I love all of the Young Living lip colors as well. I would say Uptown Girl, again, which looks very dark, is one of my favorites. And that's typically the lipstick that I'll use even on a daily basis. Or if I want something really subtle, I go with Wish. So I hope that you guys learned something and saw that, look, in 13 minutes, I talked through it and got most of my makeup on. It's going to take me a minute to put my mascara on, and I'm going to be ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed my Savvy tutorial, and I would love to hear what tips and tricks that you have found with Savvy, what colors you are loving, and if you are brave, share a video of yourself applying your makeup, because we all can learn from that. Thanks.